Hiya, it's Damien here. I'm back again. I'm sorry it's been a wee while since the last video, but there's been loads happening and loads to talk about. Now, just before we get on with the league games, I just wanted to quickly touch on the performance away to Sparta Prague last week. I know it's over a week ago now, but we haven't really talked about it yet. So I think it's most of it's already been said. I think for the first half we were under the cosh big style. I think if not for Jack Butland yet again, we would have been looking at a far inferior scoreline come half time. I think for the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half, it was much of the same, although you could see it kind of starting to turn a wee bit as we were playing our way back into the game. And then I think from the hour mark onwards, we really created a lot of dangerous positions and attacks of our own, and probably could have, potentially should have, nicked it towards the end. But I think given the chances at both ends across the full piece, it's actually quite a well-earned, well-fought-for point at a very difficult venue. I think they'd only failed to win one other home game so far all season. So, yeah, I think it's a great result, all told. Although the first half wasn't didn't make for great viewing at all. However, we'll move on to the league games. Now, obviously, I've already covered the Hibs game. Hearts was a hugely different story in terms of we were just felt we were very pedestrian, we're very ineffective. We just looked knackered, apathetic. Obviously, they score early, which doesn't help, and then they're sitting in deep. We're getting a lot of the ball, we're moving the ball about a lot, we're creating a lot of things, we're getting the ball forward a lot, but we're not really creating a lot of cutting edge chances. And then when we do, they're not being taken, pounced upon. Kind of a familiar story, and you're sitting there at kind of 70-minute mark thinking, this is, opportunity to close the gap gone. Once again, you start to question the mentality of the squad, etc., etc., etc. And then, obviously, having missed a penalty just before half time, Tavernier converts one in the 90th minute. Shows great mentality and mettle to find the back of the net with that one, particularly with how crucial that was. But in the moment, I wasn't even celebrating that because I was thinking, right, okay, one each, big whoop, gap still the same. And then, of course, the winner, which again, Tavernier, excellent cross, right over the top, drops right onto Danilo's napper, who in his movement to drag the defenders out of position, to then basically earn himself a free header at goal. And it was just beautiful, absolute scenes. So yes, ultimately a very, very satisfying result, but another sort of 80 plus minutes of just sitting like nails on chalkboard torture. A lot of stuff that's come up as a result of this is the sort of unfair criticism levelled at Captain James Tavernier. I just wanted to touch on this a wee bit because I know I've said before my thoughts on this. The thing is, a lot of the chat on social media and Rangers fans communities and things like that seems to be around, oh, where are all the Tav haters now, eh? Every time he does something good. So that kind of insinuates that you need to be in one camp or another. I'd rather say that it's, if you're playing poorly, you warrant criticism, you will be criticised. If you're playing well, you warrant praise and you will be praised. It's not a black or white mutually exclusive thing. I think Tavernier probably draws a lot of the criticism because he is the team captain, and that is part of the responsibility that comes with wearing that armband. So that's kind of part and parcel of it. When you're not doing well, when you're missing penalties, when you're giving your man 20 yards to get a cross in for Lawrence Shanklin to score in the 5th minute or something like that, you're going to get criticised when you're not doing your job properly, when you're dropping your head, when you're arguing with the referee over a decision instead of playing to the whistle and then arguing with the referee. Meanwhile, your man's running in towards goal. Things like that. So you'll get criticised when you're doing the wrong thing, and you'll get praised when you're doing the right thing. So I would say I've been a critic of Tavernier. I'll be a critic of any player because we demand high standards constantly as a support and as a football club. So if you do something wrong, you would get criticised. That doesn't mean that, oh, I've reluctantly climb out of my Tav hating pigeonhole and climb into the Tav loving pigeonhole all of a sudden because he scored a penalty and got an assist to get us 3 points within the last few minutes of a game. No, it just means that when you're not doing well, you're going to garner criticism. When you're doing well, you're going to garner praise. That's just it. So I just want to draw a line under that, because all this sort of backbiting and tit for tat and head to head infighting between the Rangers support about, oh, where are you now, all the Tav haters? It's just ridiculous. You're allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to criticise when players are doing the wrong thing, as long as you then are willing to praise when they're doing the right things. That's it. So I'll draw a line under that, and we'll go back to, obviously, the league form under Philippe Clement has been brilliant. We've got 3 wins and 3 now, 9 points out of 9, 11 goals scored, only the 1 conceded. The torturous 80 plus minutes against Hearts aside, it's been much better in terms of entertainment and watchability and enjoyability. And then we only need to look at Dundee away the other night there. We're looking at, I mean, that's 5-0 away from home. I don't think we've done that since, I think I read the other day it was potentially Hamilton away, like a few years ago, something like that. Can't be exactly sure about that, but it's been a while anyway since we've won so convincingly on the road. There was obviously all the chat about the pyrotechnics prior to the game. Now, I think they look amazing. It's a great spectacle. My only bugbear in the moment was realising that as a result the game was going to be delayed further, having already been delayed for 3/4 of an hour. The players have only played 2 minutes and they're getting called back to the dressing room. There's just that exasperation and frustration where you're like, oh, come on, do we really need this right now? But then we weren't to know that the fire alarms was going to go off and the police was going to get involved and all the rest of it. So again, there's two sides. There's 2 sides to every coin. I think it looks amazing. The pictures and the footage, stunning. The players have even been sharing it on their Instagrams and things like that. So they're clearly, impressed by it, buoyed by it, to an extent. So, and then you've got all this inquiries and club statements. We're investigating this, we're investigating that. What? Because Rangers won? Do me a favour. Anyway, all that aside, once we got down to finally got down to the game of football, I think we played really well. I think first half probably less so, but then you could probably excuse that given that it was a little bit stoppy start, late start, stop, start again. But and then when you look at the amount of chances again, Danilo's shown how good his movement is in terms of getting into good positions, dragging defenders away, and then running back into the space. He does amazing at that, but as a result, he's creating himself a lot of chances when he's leading the line, and he's obviously not taking a lot of those. I think it could be forgiven to an extent, given that he's been injured, and even when he hadn't been injured, he hadn't played a lot of football. He's now playing with a mask, which you don't know exactly how that affects your peripheral vision, your ability to, I don't know, read the situation correctly and do the right thing with the ball. There's got to be a lot of factors going on. Without making too many excuses, we'll give the guy a break because he's leading the line well. He's dragging defenders out of position. He's getting himself into positions to score a lot of goals, and he is still scoring the odd goal. I think it was extremely pleasing and refreshing to see 5 different goal scorers on the night. Of course, Tavernier with a penalty once again. I thought with Dessers getting his goal, although there was the controversy about the referee perhaps impeding the Dundee player in the run-up to that. I'm not so sure about that. However, Dessers, once he gets on the ball, does tremendously well, outrunning the defender and basically bursting the net from not the greatest angle, to be honest, when you look at it. and Lammers does well with the assist for that. Of course, Lammers himself, after making a few gaffes again, giving the ball away, doing his spin, which landed himself on the deck. He then comes up with, takes the ball into feet, goes one way, goes the other, and then you saw what happened. The ball just went right in the back of the net via the underside of the bar. I think it couldn't have been any more kind of top bin. So that was extremely pleasing for him, because he's been a player that you can almost sense his confidence is low. And another one who's, I think, rightly garnered a lot of criticism. Some of it may be a bit too harsh, but it's everyone's entitled to their opinion. If you're a professional footballer, especially for a club like Rangers, you're getting paid an awful lot of money to produce quality football. And if you're not doing that, you need to take a little bit of the rough with the smooth, I think. But I was delighted for him to get the goal, especially the manner that he took it. It was really, really well taken. So I think, obviously, a tremendous result. Made the kind of late kick-off and all the frustrations at the beginning of the game more than worth it, with a extremely satisfying 5-0 away from home. And I think when you look at how we've been performing under Clement so far, you only need to look. We've not lost a game under him yet. It's early days, of course, but Prague I thought was going to be, after the first couple of saves in the first half, I thought it was going to be a bit of a pasting, to be honest with you, not to be defeatist or pessimistic or anything. I did look like it was going to be a really rough night, but to dig in and kind of turn the tables a wee bit in the second half and really not even fight to hang on to the point, but fight to even possibly get all three, I thought was tremendous. And like I said, in the league, with the exception of the Hearts game, which was a bit of a slog, but we end up winning anyway, we've been doing tremendously well, scoring for fun, hardly conceding any, and long may it continue. Of course, got the semi-final of the League Cup on Sunday versus Hearts again, so that'll be interesting and fun, and I'm sure not stressful or exasperating or frustrating at all. At least I hope. So hugely looking forward to that. Great opportunity to get into a final and get ourselves right in amongst the silverware early in the season. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I'm sorry again that it's been a wee while since I've done a video, so I've had to cram a lot into this one. I hope everyone's doing okay, and I'll be back after the semi-final on Sunday with my thoughts and hopefully not too many negative ones. All right. Thank you so much for joining me again, and thank you everyone for your support. I've actually decided I'm going to pop this one up on YouTube just because it's a bit of a catch-all. So if you want to get early access to some of my content and exclusive access to other bits and bobs, please consider subscribing to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Damien Hendry RFC. It's just about the price of a pint. In fact, it's cheaper than a pint, 1 pint per month. So give it some thought, and give your pal some love, please. I'm also in the process of writing a new sort of Rangers-inspired original song, just on my own, off my own sort of back, and I'm just doing it myself at the moment. Potentially, I'm going to get another artist involved in it with me as a bit of a collaboration, but that's all kind of on the in the works at the moment. But what I will do is do a sort of music content creation video on the Patreon channel soon, just a sort of a making of, putting together the song, coming up with the lyrics, things like that, which should be something a bit different, but I did promise there'd be some music creation stuff on there as well. So if you want to be the first to see that, then consider subscribing. Also, if it's your first time here at the YouTube, then do the thing, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Every little helps. I'm just starting out here, but I would love you to join this journey with me and become part of this community that we're very slowly growing together. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you after Sunday. Bye bye.